We are joined by analyst Malay Nirav to dive deep to analyze the Olympic-bound Indian athletes and the exciting prospect of the Indian athletes at the upcoming Paris Games. Malay is a renowned sports analyst with years of expertise in the field, bringing insightful perspectives and in-depth knowledge to our discussion. Malay, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And the Paris Olympics are fast approaching, and we are just around 20 days from the start of the world's biggest sporting carnival. Malay, if you talk about PM Modi has always said that he's always waiting to meet and greet our athletes, and again he has interacted with the athletes, and Prime Modi's inspirational talk with the Olympic-bound Indian athletes impact their morale and motivation ahead of the games. So what it means for athletes?
Look, it means a lot. First of all, let me tell you, there has been a sea change in the way the Indian Olympic squad is being selected, groomed, and sent for the Olympics. Ever since I have been covering Olympics, the first Olympics that I covered at a very tender age, I was a young reporter at that time, was 1992 Barcelona. And from Barcelona to Paris, things have changed a lot. And a lot of this has to be seen in the light of what the Prime Minister has done, what the country is doing, and how there has been a complete change in the perspective, in the sense that the focus now is on athletes, their preparations. The government is going all out to help them. You see, they are getting trained abroad, they're getting themselves acclimatized with the situations, with the conditions. For example, the shooters, this is the largest shooting squad that India will be sending this year. The shooters are training in France, the boxers were training in Germany. Nika, whom you saw just now on the screen, was also being trained in Germany. Now, all such trainings, plus the emphasis on the physical fitness program and providing the best possible medical facility. When Mirabai Chanu was injured and she had some niggling injury, she would not have been participating in the last Tokyo Olympics had it not been for the Prime Minister's personal care and intervention. When he intervened, not only the full medical aid was provided in the best of America's hospital, but the coach was also provided to her. So there are two things. First, physical fitness, and second, to see to it that they are able to get the best out of coaching and training and rub their shoulders with the best in the international tournaments for which you prepare them. Now, in both these aspects, in the last, say, 10, 15 years, there have been several important turning points where people from the media, people from the corporate sector, people who have sponsors from the corporate sector, they have all been working, but the government has taken the lead. The government, especially the Prime Minister, has done that kind of a hand-holding for the athletes and the Olympians that it leaves a permanent mark, an indelible mark on the minds of these players and athletes when they go there. When the Prime Minister is watching you, and he's not only there to give you a pat on the back when you win, but also to encourage you, inspire you, even after you've lost. So you know that when you're going there, you're not going there with a hope, with a baggage of, or a huge kind of expectation on your head that you are going to be bringing medals for your country. That, of course, is there at the back of the mind of every athlete, every Indian who wants to get medals, or athletes to get medals. So that way, Prime Minister has made a lot of difference, and this government has taken a lot of initiative for which it must be praised.
Definitely, PNs, when motivates the athletes, it's very important for the athletes. They have mentioned in the past that the guidance and advice given by the Prime Minister in this interaction also, PM Modi said that you should take a proper sleep before any major match, and it will be very helpful for them. And Malay, if we talk about India's performance in the recent past, a multiple number of medals were won by the Indian athletes. So what are the chances of the Indian athletes winning the medals in the Paris Olympics? Can they surpass the previous best tally of 7 medals that they won in Tokyo?
Yes, I think so. Look, we had around 120 athletes at Tokyo Olympics. This year also it will be around the same. Numbers would be around the same, 120s. Now, but the real medal hopes that we have, if you start counting them, starting with the the man with the golden arm and the gold winner of the javelin throw in the last Olympics, Neeraj Chopra, uh, starting from him to the entire set of people, Loveline and Nikhat as the boxers, PV Sindhu and Ranki Reddy Shetty duo in badminton, PV Sindhu and them in badminton. Again, a whole lot of around 21 shooters who are there for the first time. And let me tell you a little bit about the shooters. See, our shooters were performing very well in the international arena. Somehow or other were not able to do so well in the Olympics. The only medal besides athletics and hockey that we have in Olympics is from shooting when Avinav Bindra won it. But after that, somehow or other, our shooters. So what has been done this year in preparation for the shooters to go compete and win, that is more important, is that they have had what is known as a mental warm-up. Besides the physical warm-up, a mental warm-up, which they have been trained to go through meditation, through all kinds of mindfulness exercises, breathing exercises, exhaling, inhaling at the right time, where every single point makes a difference. Now, that is something which has been done. And where has it been done? In France. So they have been acclimatized with the conditions there, and they have been given the best training. So this kind of a training which is being provided to them has just led to new hopes, opened up new hopes for medals from shooting also. We have been doing very well in shooting. We have been producing shooters in large numbers who are world class. When they go in ISSF tournaments, they do win trophies, they do win gold medals, but on the bigger stage of Olympics, they were not able to perform. So that is something which they have been able to do. Now, this is one example where I was trying to tell you what I was trying to tell you earlier, that through other schemes like top schemes and then individual attention that the Prime Minister himself pays to the people. If you remember, when our Indian hockey girls lost last time and they were in tears, the Prime Minister was there to help them, to support them, to boost their morale and to praise them, which they deserve.
True.
So
True.
that is how. Now, this year, if you look at the medal hopes very quickly, to sum up the question that you asked, besides Neeraj Chopra and besides the names that I've already taken in boxing, in badminton, in shooting, I'm also looking at Aditi Ashok from golf. She missed it by a whisker last time. This year, she will be a strong medal hope, and there'll be medal hopes from archery also. Deepika Kumari has been working very hard, and there is a whole lot of new breed of archers who are doing very well along with her. So these are the games in which one can actually realistically look for a medal.
Talking about the men's hockey team, you mentioned the way PM Modi praised the women's hockey team. Men's hockey team won Olympic medal after 41 years last time in Tokyo. It was their third Olympic bronze medal after 1968 and 72, and their 12th Olympic medal overall. Can they change the color of the medal this time around?
They are very well prepared. Also, they have been continuously playing against the best teams of the world, whether it be Australia, Argentina, Germany, and they have been defeating them, Netherlands, and so on and so forth. So, and the best part of the Indian hockey team is that there's a very good mix of experience and youth there that you see. Now, today's hockey is very different from the days when India was continuously winning medals and gold medals in Olympics in the 40s and the 50s and so on. It is very different. Now, it is a very fast, pacey game, which is where attack is the only way to ensure your victory. And then, besides attacking, you have to defend so that your opponent does not enter your arena and quickly it leads to a goal. So to prevent penalty corners, that is very, very important. And the Indian team has done very well. If you look at the composition of the Paris, the Indian team going to Paris, whereas faces like Srijesh provide a sense of continuity, and they also act as mentors for the young boys. Then there are youngsters who are always there. So it's not a case of someone, we had the habit of choking at the last moment earlier. That habit Indian team has got rid of, Indian hockey team. We always heard that India was about to win. In the last moments, they just conceded one or two goals and lost it. Now those days are gone. See, it is all about converting your opportunities, translating them into real goals and victories, and that is what the Indian team has been doing over the last few couple of years.
Yes.
And this year especially, they have played very well in different tournaments, and they have really done well in all the best teams of the world, against all the best teams of the world. So they are a real medal hope. That's what I'm saying, that there is a difference between just winning a medal by fluke and winning a medal when the entire nation is looking at you with hopes that you are perhaps the best in the world, and you must shine there when you go there at Paris.
Definitely, you must shine there, as we know that the legacy of the Indian hockey. But Malay, talking about the number of medals, double digit is always a dream. And do you think that last time there were a lot of expectations from the shooters, but we couldn't make up there at the Tokyo Olympics, considering the fact that this time India's largest shooting contingent in the history? Do you think that if shooting gets few medals, this contingent can touch the double digit mark at the Paris Games?
Of course, I'm pretty much sure. Look, Narayan, if you ask me, I'm very sure about a couple of medals from the arenas, from those arenas where we have not seen ones earlier. For example, in shooting, and both in men's and women's shooting. Also in boxing, especially women's boxing. So there are certain areas. See, wrestling, boxing, weightlifting, badminton, hockey, and in athletics, in javelin, and so on and so forth. So if you take all these things together, I will not be surprised at all if India reaches the double digit mark, which is very, very likely to happen. You see, if you look at the performance of India in Guangzhou Asian Games, India were fourth in 2023. After China, Japan, South Korea, India was at number 4. Before that, only in 1952 and 1962, twice they were at number 3 position or better than number 4 position. So now, what does that show? It shows an involvement of the Indian athletes at international level, where their caliber stands out in international competitions. And Asian Games being fourth in terms of medal winners, 107, nobody was giving them 100 medals. I remember when I said that 100 medals will not be a problem, many of my own colleagues in a group discussion were telling me that you are a born optimist. And I conceded. I said, yes, I am a born optimist, but my optimism is based upon my own analysis and whatever I have seen with my own eyes. The team that is going to Paris now, these who are going there, I have followed each one of them very closely. And I can tell you, each one of them is a potential medal winner. Though it is, in fact, it is creditable in itself to be a part of the Olympics, to qualify for Olympics. But if you look at, and the shooters that you are talking about, that fifth girl, Simran, she is so good. And there are so many others. And I don't see why they should not. And this kind of a mental warm-up exercises and the need for psychologists, which was felt and which has been taken care of. Sports psychologists are there to support the team. The mindfulness exercises, the meditations, the inhaling, exhaling exercises, the nerves controlling practices where you can control the nerves. All those things have taken place.
True, Malay,
with
true.
Indian
And
rifle
you
shooting.
mentioned that the kind of facilities our athletes got, and definitely we are hoping that the kind of exposure they got, definitely this Indian squad has the capability to touch the double-digit mark at the Paris Olympics. Thanks for joining up and giving us perspective and a fantastic analysis of the Indian squad that is
Thank you.
heading for the Paris Games. Thanks a lot. So shifting focus to cricket, the team